in the choir. It's like a multitasker.
Oh, like you don't work your tail off.
Well, that's me. I have my limits.
Good.
So how did the doors remind me again of the wall?
I'll show you.
Hey, Brenda.
Everybody's reading it.
I'm good. Hi there. I know it's one of those, yeah. We had a good laugh.
Good evening, gentlemen. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom. And then she was telling me that when Harry Levy saw that he and Mary decided to do a $25,000 match.
It was just a comedy.
And then other groups were like.
Really? Huh.
It's good that way.
Yeah, but I oh.
Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom.
That's all? Oh. Flying somewhere. How you doing? We're all okay. How's about you? Very cool.
Oh, Andrew, hi. Nice to see you.
Hi, how are you? Hi, Annie. Yeah, it's been a long time. Yeah, good.
Hop over to the house upstairs and
Not why she's here.
Hi, how are you? It's like a group of
That's a long time.
So how was your dinner?
Shabbat shalom.
Was it really? I gotta say, our lamb is probably good. You know, they were
traveling from the Susan. Hi, how are you? Shabbat shalom. Great to see you.
A couple times I've had it and I just realized like, I actually don't like it. And I mean, it's terrible because like real shepherds, real sheep people, I mean, they raise lambs and they eat them. Not me, I did them. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, yeah. You want a sweater to manage my sheep? I have enough.
Our daughter's in Stanford.
I've had them for many years. They get sheep. It ain't short. I got all the needles in the world.
Like an hour away. Yeah, that's
Because I tried to talk
my
to you.
daughter, my older daughter lives in Stanford.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I would.
It's not that hard to get her to say they got something.
That's why somebody downtown.
Neither of us really wants to do it. Yes.
Nice city, I remember that.
Yeah,
No. And Henry has to. And Ron. No. Not, yes. I know.
Sit on the front.
People wonder, I see the people that kind of anonymity.
He quits his job and then he's like, money. He said he's not going to be able to get it by holiday.
I've told you, this is like, it's kind of the old dream. People actually are very comfortable. It's not, you know, they kind of whatever they're living with, or it's good. It's all But you can do it.
Shabbat shalom. Shabbos, everybody. Everybody has to see the word. Shabbat shalom. We should sing about it. Let's go to page 128 and sing a little bit about Shabbat. Shabbat shalom. Shabbos. I don't know about you, but I could really use a nice deep Shabbat breath right about now. So go ahead and join me. Take a nice deep Shabbat breath. If you need to stretch a little or shake out the stress, the worry, the tsuris, and the mishigas, pick your Yiddish word of your choice, shake it out. Take another nice deep breath. We welcome Shabbat into our space, into our souls, that gift we are given every single week. And one of the symbols of that gift where we Zachor and Shamor, we remember and we watch over Shabbat, is the lighting and blessing of the Shabbat candles, and it's an honor to invite up Liz and Ray to help us with that. Page 120. And now please turn with us to page 138 for Lecha Dodi. And in case you're ever wondering what's a creative way of hiding something in a poem, there's something hidden in Lecha Dodi. Does anybody know or remember what it is? What's hidden in here? The name of the poet is hidden in Lecha Dodi. If you take a look at the first letter of each stanza, Shin, Lamed, Mem, Hey on the right-hand side, Shlomo. And then verses 5, 6, 7, and 8, Halevi. So Shlomo Alphabets, if you take a look at the footnote on page 138, he started each stanza with the letters of his own name. He's a Kabbalist, and so of course playing with words and letters is a common technique and also a way to make sure he's remembered. But luckily, he wrote us a wonderful, beautiful song that helps us continue to welcome Shabbat. Shabbat. Now let's turn together to page 144 for the Chatzi Kaddish, page 144. Page 148, let's read together in the English. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night. rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tzebaot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'ma'ariv aravim. Ahavat olam beit Yisrael, amcha filled with for you, if it's filled with of you who don't, why do you choose not to? Do you know why you do it? Just to talk about it for a moment. Anyone want to share? Yeah, Liz.
Close my eyes, I feel more connection. God.
And how does it go? Does it work? Do you feel it?
Something about the darkness, the empty space.
Oh, the infinite space, the empty space. Oh, that's beautiful. So you close your eyes. Who else?
Is that similar to shading your eyes when you light the candles?
Oh, excellent question. Did everyone hear Michael's question? Is it similar to when you cover your eyes for the candles? It's become similar. It didn't start similarly. We cover our eyes for the candles because of the weird prayer loophole that we had to create, which is that once Shabbat begins, we cannot light a fire, right? And saying the prayer itself begins Shabbat as far as we're concerned. It's one of the human ways that we declare Shabbat, so it's not just God setting the sun, it's us reciting the prayer. Everything else, we say the prayer first and then we do the action, right? We say the prayer over the motzi, then we eat the bread. We say the prayer over the wine, then we drink the wine. This, we do the opposite, because we'd be stuck. We would say the prayer, Shabbat would have begun, and we couldn't light the candles. So what we do, the reason we cover our eyes is because we light them first. We cover our eyes to pretend we haven't lit them yet. Say the blessing, and oh, they're lit. And for real, this is the reason. It was a way of getting around this prohibition. It becomes a very spiritual moment for people. You know, we all think of our bubbies, you know, for those of you who had bubbies who lit the candles and covered their eyes. It becomes a very spiritual moment. But originally, it's a way of getting around the loophole. But for the Shema, so Liz, for you, covering your eyes helps you feel that much more connected to God. And for many people, for the candles, that's part of it too. Anyone else who covers your eyes or closes your eyes? Yeah, Doreen.
When I close my eyes, like I do a lot in yoga, is I kind of focus on what I'm thinking, breathing, and saying. And so it's like the prayer, is just, it's all that's in me, is what I'm saying.
You just fill up with it. Nice, beautiful.
Nothing else.
Yeah, and I think that's a part of it too, is cutting out the distractions for just a moment. You know, not worry about who's next to you, who's walking in, you know, who's coughing, you know, just like, okay, just me and God for a moment. Anyone else? For those of you who don't do it, if you've never given it a try, I do encourage it next time you're here and you come to the Shema, to either just close your eyes or cover them. Traditionally, some people would even wrap themselves in their talit, make like a little tent almost. And so just you have this moment of just you and God. If that's something that's even appealing, that's worth a try. And then you can make a decision, is that something you want to try again or not? So thank you for sharing and for your wonderful question. Let's turn to Micha Mocha, page 158.
Come
one. Let's read together, starting in the middle of the page. Give us a place to rest, Adonai, our God. Bring us into shelter in the soft, long evening shadows of your truth. For with you are true protection and safety, and in your presence are acceptance and gentle love. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace, over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukkah shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim. Ve'shamru b'nei Yisrael ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat v'torah meritolah. Ve'shamru b'nei Yisrael ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat v'torah meritolah. Ve'il b'nei Yisrael oti le'olam, oti le'olam. Ve'shamru b'nei Yisrael ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat v'torah meritolah. Ki sheish yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et haaretz. Ve'shamru b'nei Yisrael ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat v'torah meritolah. Vayom hashmini Shabbat vaynafash, Shabbat vaynafash, Shabbat spirit. You know, this sometimes ruach is very spirited, and sometimes it's more of a connection to spirit, and to the nefesh and the neshama, the breath and the soul within us, and the spirit that's around us. So thank you, everybody. Let's take a moment to recognize that holiness that's inside everyone we know, everyone we love, people who are in need of healing, of recovery, of return to wellness. We are grateful, Michael, to have you back here tonight, and well on your way to healing. Tonight we are also sending healing prayers to Reagan Konecki, John DiNicola, Nancy Schwab, Sam Rosenblum, Miriam Swidler, Simon Alexander Petty, Larry Mancini, Charles Savitt, Debbie Clymer, Layla Phillips, Burl Bellows, Josephine Stricker, Cindy Rashal, David Ben Mayer, Arthur Myers, Iris Clark, Stacy Reed, Jim Nickel, Nan Kraszewski, Susan Furman, Marty Schickman, Fred Schaefer, Francis Mose, Sophia Youngblood, Dan Pear, and Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Who else are you thinking of tonight and you'd like to send healing prayers to? Mishiberach Avotenu Avraham, Yitzchak v'Yaakov, v'Imotenu Sarah, v'Kala Yaakov Rachel, hu yivarech v'yirapeh et kol ha'cholim ha'ela. We pray, God, who blessed all of our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Becca, Leah, and Rachel, we bless and heal all those who are in pain, who are hurt, who are suffering tonight, this Shabbat. And we pray, God, that you will help them return to a sense of wholeness and wellness. Baruch atah Adonai Rofei Cholim. We praise you, God, who cares for the sick. And let us say together, Amen. Let's turn to page 371 and join together. Good things happen in the world around us. And let us say together, Amen. And do we have any smachot, simchas, happy things to celebrate? Anybody want to share a birthday, anniversary, something exciting going on in your life?
Our grandkids are coming in along with the kids. so it'll be full for the weekend.
A joyful noise.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I have a couple of simplets to share. One, my sister's daughter turned 1 this week. That was really exciting. She's beautiful little Maya, and we got to be with her. I was in Chicago this week. Monday and Tuesday was a really incredible 2-day conference offered for rabbis called the Rabbinic Moral Leadership Gathering. And it was sponsored by the Religious Action Center of Reform Judaism, which if you're not familiar with, get familiar with. It is the advocacy arm of the Reform movement, which functions in Washington, D.C., and advocates and lobbies for Reform Jewish values in Washington. And one of the reasons that's important is because that's an amazing group of people that's doing the work on our behalf. We also, in January, for Martin Luther King Shabbat, have a speaker named Elizabeth Leff from the RAC, who's going to be with us that Shabbat to talk about the really incredibly interwoven history of the Reform movement and the civil rights movement, and the big part that we played in it and continue to play in fighting for equal rights for all. So I do encourage you to come that Shabbat. And so this gathering on Monday, Tuesday in Chicago was open to a small group of rabbis about, encouraging us to talk together, to learn from each other about this particular moment in American history and what our role as clergy is in helping us all remember what does our tradition say about values and rights and looking out for each other. And so I'll be telling you more in the coming weeks about it as I continue to process the incredible teachings and connect with the chevre, the colleagues that I was with, and we talk about how to best move forward with some of the things that we talked about. It was really an incredible, emotional time together. And then because I was in Chicago, I spent some time with the mishpacha, which is terrific. So it was a pleasure. Any other simples? No? Okay, good. Oh, we had a good week. This Shabbat happens to be the last parsha of the book of Genesis. It's a Torah portion called Vayechi. And it wraps up all of the beautiful narratives that we've had throughout this whole book. Starting all the way back with the creation of the world and Adam and Eve, and then, of course, introducing us to Noah and the ark, and Abraham, the first Jew, Abraham, and then Isaac, and then Jacob, and of course their wives, Abraham and Sarah, Isaac and Rebekah, Jacob and Rachel and Leah, and then we've been these last few weeks in the story of Joseph, which has been on repeat in our house, the Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat soundtrack, like you do. And then, of course, as soon as it becomes Exodus, we'll listen to Prince of Egypt more. So I have a dear friend named Rabbi Leah Berkowitz, who actually was a contestant on Ask Me Another. Are you familiar with Ask Me Another on NPR? And so she created, and so I use this with her permission, some of her creation here. She created an Ask Me Another Genesis edition quiz for us tonight on different parts of the Genesis story. Are you ready? You're not ready? You're okay? You are? You're here. Okay, good. Help me come up with a prize, too, if you win. Okay, so this is, the first category is Bible or Midrash, Genesis edition. I'm going to read you a short snippet of a storyline. You're going to tell me, is it actually in the Torah or is it Midrash? Meaning, was it a rabbi's creation? Okay? Ready? And I think if you have the answer, you should go ding, okay, to buzz in. Okay, ring in? Okay, everybody all right? All right. Number 1, Rachel steals her household idols, sits on them, and tells her father Lavan that she has her period, so he won't search the cushion that's underneath her. Bible or Midrash?
Midrash.
Bible!
No.
Yes! Isn't that crazy? But you're 50 shot, so it's okay. Genesis 31, verses 19 to 35. Rachel sat on her idols. Okay, number 2. Potiphar's wife and her friends were so taken by Joseph's beauty that they accidentally slit their wrists while peeling oranges. Ding!
People magazine.
Would that be Midrash? Yes, it is! Ding! Genesis Rabbah 87:6. Okay, number 3. Abraham smashes his father's idols crime on the largest idol. Bible? What Ding. Yes, Liz? So I always thought that was Bible too growing up because it was told as if it's part of the same story. It's not. It is Midrash, Genesis, Rabbah. Okay, number 4. After Sarah's death, Abraham takes a second wife, Keturah, who bears him 6 children. Anyone? Who did? Ray. It is the Torah. Excellent. Ding, ding, ding. It is Genesis 25, verses 1 and 2. He does have a second wife. We just don't really talk about it. Number 5. Isaac tries to pass Rebekah off as his sister when visiting King Abimelech of Gerar, but his plan is foiled when he and Rebekah are caught in a compromising position. It's Bible or Midrash? The Kardashians. Ding. Bible. Excellent. Genesis 26, verses 6 through 9. 10 points for you. Okay, number 6. When Esau and Jacob are reunited decades after Jacob steals the birthright, Esau tries to bite his brother's neck. First Okay, so we had Bible, we had Midrash. It's technically Midrash because it's a weird word in the Torah that we're not sure how to interpret. The word is kiss, but it has little marks over it, typographical, mysterious marks over the word in the Torah that every Torah is printed with. And so one of the Midrashim about those little marks is that it didn't mean kiss, it meant bite. So it is actually Midrash. Okay, let's do one more of these. Number 7. God seals the covenant with Abraham through a sacrificial ritual in which Abraham cuts a heifer, a goat, and a ram in half. And God consumes the pieces in the fire. Yum.
Well, if it's to the pattern, I'd say, ding, Bible.
It is Bible! Okay, and here is a bonus question before we go to the next section. According to Midrash, what was the name of Adam's first wife? Before Eve. Before Eve. My hero.
Star Trek.
No. But as a hint, there's a character with this name on both Cheers and Frasier. It starts with an L. She has a demon baby army.
I've heard you say this too many times.
Too many times?
I won't answer.
Okay. He's recusing himself from the question.
Cheers.
Yeah. What is Frasier's ex-wife's name? No, not Frasier. Niles' ex-wife, right?
Nylander, what's his name?
Right. Who's Lilith? Lilith. Who's she married to? Frasier or Niles? Niles? Lilith? Lilith! And their demon baby army. Okay, this next round is called Bohemian Matriarchy. Each verse of this Queen song has been rewritten about one of the mamas in the book of Genesis. Ding in to guess the name of the matriarch that I am singing. For a bonus point, you can also name the character who is singing. Okay, so who's the mama? You ready? Mama just killed a goat, put its skin upon my arm, hope this cholent is still warm. Mama, will he bless me now, or will my father know I'm second born?
Torah.
Who is it? Okay, David is singing. I think that's what this was.
Yeah, it's a flippant thing. I don't know. It's about Rebecca.
It's about Rebecca, and who's singing?
And it's Jacob is singing.
Jacob! Excellent! Maura, David, your students will all be proud. Okay, right? Because Jacob dresses up as his brother Esau, who happens to be quite hairy, right? And then he's also quite hungry, and so Jacob sells him his Esau buys the lentil soup and sells his birthright for it. Okay, so next section of this. Mama, ooh, Bush, I understand throws you off. But who, we weren't sure if he was going to come back from Mount Moriah, but a ram saves the day on the altar. It's the Akinat, so who is it? Abraham and Isaac, and who's the mom? Yeah, Sarah! Excellent! Ding, 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 ding! Okay.
She must have paid off a check and followed that.
Oh, nice. There you go. That was it? That was the one? You get points, that's good, it's all right. You'll cash in the tickets for like a little, pencil eraser or something. Mama just killed a man, I think I changed the key. Brother's keeper, I am not. Blood cries out from that damn spot. Goodbye, everybody, I've got to go. God has sentenced me to wander all the earth. Ding. Yeah. Eve is the mom. And who is singing? Or your point. Who killed his brother? Cain killed Abel. Okay, one more. Mama, ooh, I don't want to die. I sometimes wish I'd never told them my dreams. Joseph, Pharaoh's number 2. And who's his mama? Well, this is our one. Who is Joseph's mom?
Jacob,
Yeah?
Jacob and, yeah, that's Isaac.
No, you're right. It's Jacob's.
And Leah and Rachel.
Yeah, it's Rachel, exactly.
He's spinning out.
Anyone want to go for an extra point to name all 4 of the women Jacob had babies with? Oh, boy.
How do we know there wasn't a 5th one?
Who was Moses' mother? That's a good question. Well, I know it was your mother. And babies and stuff. Who was Moses' mother? Yocheved. Yocheved is his mother. You're right. Moses' mother, we have to know Moses' mother at this time of year. So, anyone 4 women Jacob had? This is the last question. Who were the 4 women? We named 2 of them, right? Leah and Rachel. Who were the other 2 who were mothers of some of the tribes? A B and a Z. No, that's Moses' wife.
They didn't if nobody
Ding.
else could take it. So, Bilhah and Zilpah.
Yes, Bilhah and Zilpah. So the 4 mamas of the tribes, Rachel, Leah, Bilhah, and Zilpah. You should teach in our religious school.
Up to my age.
So thank you for playing, everybody. If you would like a tchotchke afterwards, you may have one. We have tchotchkes.
So did you just go see this movie?
Which movie?
Bohemian Rhapsody?
No, not yet.
Oh, please.
I know, I have to see it. It's hard for us to see movies still. It's soon. Yeah, we have to see Bohemian Rhapsody. And I love them. So, right, aren't they amazing? Let's talk some announcements, friends. Next Friday night, we have Erev Shabbat at 7:30 p.m. Meg will be here with the piano. I know it's a holiday week, but we'll be here, so come join us. The office is closed Monday and Tuesday of this week for Jewish Chinese Food Day, and it's just so a reminder that we will be closed. And then there's a bunch of things coming up in the first couple weeks of January that I just want to call your attention to. Friday night, January 4th at 7:30 p.m. we have Erev Shabbat, our first Friday service where we use our wonderful brand new family service Siddur. On Thursday, January 10th is the next session of my Lunch and Learn series where we've been reading the Jewish way into Jewish mystical tradition, and it's been terrific. Those of you who have been coming, hopefully it's been giving you a lot to think about, a lot of God talk, spirituality talk. We're wrestling with some big Kabbalistic and mystical concepts, and it's a lot of fun. Saturday, the 12th at 10:30 a.m., we have our second Saturday Shabbat service. Everyone is always welcome. On Sunday, the 13th at 9:45 a.m., Kibbutz starts at 9:30. At 9:45, we're going to have a gathering for everybody everybody in the congregation, which we're titling Anti-Semitism, Our Response. And it's going to be a chance to come together. We're going to have a potluck breakfast and just talk about what's been going on recently in our community, in the country, in the world. And what is the CBSRZ response to it? What is our personal response to it? What can help us feel that much more grounded in our Judaism, proud of our Judaism, and also reassured of the community that we have here all together. So we're going to have some facilitated conversations, some small group talks, and it's just going to be a nice chance to be together. So that's on Sunday the 13th at 9:45 a.m. Sandy Herzog wanted me to remind you once again that if you missed in the weekly email, there's a Parkville school family who lost everything they own in a house fire. And so there's a list of donations that they're looking for if you have an opportunity to give. And finally, thank you to Liz and Ray Archambault for sponsoring the O-Night. Very, very kind of you. Any other announcements, anything going on you want to mention?
I'm going to follow up on what Sandy has.
Yes,
For those of you
please.
who don't know, Sandy teaches at that school. And she has a group of sort of chipmunks and smaller chipmunks who mostly don't speak English. And she tutors them in reading English. She's raised money through the congregation to help buy these children clothes, because they don't have any. Many of them arrived from Puerto Rico after the terrible storm, literally only having what they wore, and then they're here in the winter. I mean, it's a remarkable thing. In the great room, there are actually some photographs of kids holding up some of their clothes. If you have a chance and you just kind of want to say, wow, you know. So, you know, this isn't just a random family lost everything. It's a family she knows.
Thank you. Thank you. And there is an ongoing drive that she runs for all kinds of other items. Thank you. Anyone else?
I have a question. You said they lost everything, so they will be eventually getting a house in the household.
I haven't talked to Sandy about this particular family, and I have no idea if they were renters or owners, if there's insurance, I have no idea. Just everything burned. I mean, it was a total loss. The uniform, so the Hartford Public Schools have sort of a quasi-uniform requirement. I mean, you have a little bit of variation, but it's a narrow range. And so she has raised money here, and the congregation, Wendy and Debbie, have actually purchased uniforms kind of at a bulk rate for these they're kindergartners and first graders mostly.
Thank you. Let's go to page 586 for Elenu and Erica and Andy. You want to come up and open the ark? For real. Thank you. They're reprising their role from my holidays. Everyone is right.
Adama
It is a fearful thing to love what death can touch, a fearful thing to love, hope, dream, to be, and oh, to lose. A thing for fools this, and a holy thing to love. For your life has lived in me, your laugh once lifted me, your word was gift to me. To remember this brings a painful joy. 'Tis a human thing, love, a holy thing, to love what death has touched. Page 598. If you hear the name of a family member or friend on our Shiva Shloshim or Yortzeit list, and if you're comfortable doing so, you're invited to rise when you hear his or her name. This allows us to recognize your loss and offer you comfort. And then we will all rise to join you for the recitation of the Mourner's Kaddish. This Shabbat, we mark the recent passing of Sidney Retzky, Nora Rose Hines, Saul Loffer, and Jamie Redone. We mark the Yortzeits, the anniversaries of death, for Lawrence Joel Adler, Abraham Altman, Leah Barron, Gilda Beiner, Brandel Block, Leroy Averill Cohen, Max Gutman, Saul Harris, Pauline Mazer, Marvin Palmer, Lorette Pinn, Rita Rogers, Minnie Rogo, Jacob Ronner, Esther Schaefer, Arthur Schur, Irving Schwalski, Victor Udoff, Gertrude Zemmel, Irving Ziprin, and Paulette Shulkin. Zichronam Livracha. Who else is marking a Shiva, Shloshim, or Yortzeit of a family member or friend who would like to share a name out loud? May all of the memories of our loved ones be a precious blessing to those who knew and loved them. Together now we rise and we join in the words of Hadish Yatom, the Mourner's Kaddish. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shnei rabbah, v'yamad yivarach yirteh, v'yamlich malchuteh. V'chayeton v'yomechon v'chayet chol Beit Yisrael ba'agala v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabba v'rach le'olam kolmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yit'amar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shmei kudisha b'richu. La'ela mikol birchata v'shirata. Tush b'chata v'nechemata. Da'amiran be'alma v'hibru, amen. Yehei shuam rabba min shumaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al Yisrael v'hibru, amen. Oseh shalom b'ramav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al Yisrael v'hibru, amen. Oseh shalom b'ramav, hu ya'aseh shalom.
On page 643. Hava, Hava Nashira, Shir Hallelujah, Shir Hallelujah. Hava, Hava Nashira, Shir Hallelujah, Shir Hallelujah. Hava, Hava Nashira, Shir Hallelujah, Shir Hallelujah. Shir Hallelujah.
Shalom.
You called. Yeah, well, that's great. Honestly, I called.
This is Michael Price, Joanne. Is Joanne okay? Joanne Price's husband is Mr. Anderson.
Everybody's okay with that.
Shabbat shalom, John.